Commissioner General, Ghana Revenue Authority, Mr. Emmanuel Kofi Nti, has met with leadership of the importers and traders in Accra. The meeting was to assess the impact of the benchmark value reduction on import duties and improve relations between the revenue administrator and the business community.
Last week, the government reduced 50% of the benchmark value on import duties on general goods and 30% for vehicles. Barely a week after the implementation, reports emerged on social media that some automobile parts were excluded from the list of products. In a bid to allay the fears created by the misleading information, the leadership of the GRA met with Spare Parts Dealers Association at Abose Okai in Accra. The Commissioner General, Mr. Kofi Nti, debunked the social media reports explaining the modalities of the reduction to the importers. The Commissioner toured the Abose Okai market to interact with importers on the benchmark value reduction.
Maybe you were importing goods and you were paying 40,000 at the import duty line, and now you are paying 20,000. In a way, we are giving you 20,000. That 20,000 is meant mainly for your consumers, your buyers. And so you should have a way of reducing your prices so that the people can have the effect for which reason that a policy was adopted. You should take it down to the consumer. The consumer must see evidence of reduction reduction in the prices at which they buy the goods.
The co-chair Spare Parts Dealers Association at Abose Okai, Mr. Clement Boateng, said the reduction of the benchmark value has reflected on recent consignments cleared by some of their members.
When this issue of benchmark reduction came, we were very much happy. But when we saw the list on the social media that spare parts, were not included, we were a bit apprehended, as I've told you already. But I think the issue has been, trashed here, and then we will go and sit down with them and then iron out any problem that we have.
The GRA team then moved to the Mokola market, where the Commissioner interacted with traders on voluntary tax compliance and challenges facing their businesses. The GRA team proceeded to Opera Square, also in the Central Business District in Accra, and interacted with the leadership of the Electrical Dealers Association of Ghana. The traders were delighted with the benchmark value reduction on import duties, but called for action against persons who come early to the market to sell electrical wares and do not pay taxes. The association said such activity has affected the patronage of their goods. Mr. Kofi Nti pledged to address the concerns raised by the traders to sanitize the business environment to enable them honor their tax obligation.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Mr. Kofi Nti, has cautioned importers to desist from smuggling goods into the country, especially at a time when the benchmark values on import duties have been reduced. He said anyone caught in the act of smuggling will be dealt with severely.
They deliberately import through Togo and smuggle the items through into the Ghanaian system, into the domestic markets. And it's one of the reasons for the reduction in the duties, to make sure we are more competitive and to make it more difficult for the smugglers to continue their trade. And we signaled warning to the system that when you have smuggled goods in your truck, the truck is subject to forfeiture, and that the driver of smuggled goods is also liable. According to the law, there are three measures: the smuggled goods, the conveyor, and then the driver of the conveyance. And going forward, we are going to implement the law to the full force of it. And so we implore on the people to advise their colleagues and friends who are in the habit of smuggling to cease, because if their complaint was that the duties were high, that area has been tackled, and so we expect compliance from the importers as far as possible.